Hey, this is Tish Griffin, and I am coming to you from Family Credit Management to talk to you about debt. Anything, questions that you have regarding debt, finances, budgeting, money issues, that is what I'm here for. So, right now, the holiday season is upon us, and I have had a lot of questions about preparing for the holidays and ways to make your budget work for you. So, we're going to talk about a few of those today. Now, in the news, you've been hearing talks of recessions for the longest. Yes, we're talking about recessions, we're talking about whether or not we're fiscally fit here in the United States. And a lot of us are finding that even though they're saying, hey, the worst is over, the recession is most likely behind us, we still have to make it day to day. And we're struggling with that. And you add in the holidays, gift giving, time with families, all of that. And so we're left feeling, hey, I don't even think I'm going to make it. So what are some ways or some things that we can do to avoid that? That is one of the things that we're going to concentrate on today. Now, if you've got any questions at all regarding finances, I want you to go to Family Credit's website at familycredit.org, or you can dial 1-800-994-3328, where you can talk with a live counselor, ask any questions that you may have regarding debt, finances, getting everything under control. And guess what? Family Credit has some really cool tools and guides that will help you get your finances back on track. That's right. If you go to the website or if you call in, you can get the budget guide, you can get the spending plan, you can get 100 ways to save big, which helps in the holiday season. Yes, it really does. And you can also get personal finance made easy, which is a great guide that breaks down finances for you too. All that information is available for free. So I do want you to go to the website or call a counselor and check it out. Get that information sent to you for free. Now, when we start thinking about the holidays, the first thing we do is look at the sales papers. We think about the lists. We have our kids make lists, ask those that we love, those that we're close to, hey, what is it that you want for the holidays? Now, me personally, I love memories and making memories, but we'll get to that in a minute. The first thing, though, is for you to take inventory and take stock of where you're at. Perfect way to do that is looking at your monthly budget. So you know you've got your monthly budget all set, or maybe you don't. You're still working on getting things together, whatever the case may be. You do need to have a separate budget outlined for your holiday spending and the holiday season. Yes, knowing ahead of time what you're getting yourselves into and the caps that you've put on yourself will go a long ways in reducing the stress of the holiday season. It helps keep you positive because you've already got a plan in place. So that's the first thing I want you to do. You want to sit down, set realistic expectations for the holiday season and for what it is you are actually financially working with. You want to think about all those things that the holiday encompasses. Think about how much it costs for food prep. What do you plan on cooking? What do you plan on bringing if you're visiting relatives? So it's not even all just about the gifts. You want to think about, hey, what are those gifts? What about decorations? Are we going to do anything here at the house? Are we going out? What type of entertainment are we thinking about? So these are things that we don't even think about till the last second, which is why it's great to put it into your holiday budget right now. Start with that. You can even break it down into those categories so you know what you're planning out. With your travel, are you going to travel for the holidays? Yes. Traveling costs a lot nowadays. The price of tickets are pretty much inflated, especially with the holiday seasons upon us. So what can you do to get ahead of that? Start planning now. That's what I want you to do. After you look down and you sit down and you think about your budget, everything that you have to plan for. Next, I want you to think about who. After you set that list, think about who it is that you have to buy for. Prioritize it. Is it someone at your job? Is it just your immediate family? Is it extended family? What are those things that you're thinking about purchasing, or who do you have in mind? And you want to set realistic budgets and limits for them as well. Some families, what they do is that they really do think about doing a budgeted amount for each gift or each person or whatever events that they plan on having. So think about that as well. Then I want you to take advantage and start shopping early. You know the amounts that are there. You've sat down, you've planned out what it is that you intend to purchase. So start as early as possible, because a lot of those deals that you are thinking about and you want to capture, they happen really, really, really in advance. So think about that. If you wait till the last minute, most of the time, waiting till the last minute to purchase a gift or an item, the price is going to be so expensive and so high, and you're taking that on. Now, you're over your budget because you didn't do it early enough. So you want to think about that too. Make sure that you begin shopping early. You want to take advantage of any sales that you can find, and just keep all of those in mind with your budget. Another thing you may want to do is think about what are some alternatives to gift giving. Remember, I told you I am a huge fan of making memories. So a lot of my budget does not necessarily go into thinking about presents that you're going to buy. But what are those activities that we can do as a family? What are those things that we can do that'll fill us with so much joy, so many hours of fun? What games are out there? And right now you can find games available on the social media websites such as Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of those. And you can use that to infuse it into your budget. What are those things that will cost us less to do than buying presents? Also think about this as well. If you are super talented or you just love arts and crafts, there's alternatives there as well. What can you make that'll do just as good and probably even better than a store-bought gift? So what are those items? You might be good at making jewelry. You might be good at even making things such as like book sleeves, book covers. So those are some ideas that you have. Right now, candle making is a great thing that people enjoy, and even charcuterie boards. So you can be creative. You can use what are your hobbies in order to substitute that budget as well. Now, you still want to do whatever you can, do it on a budget, plan for it, and you want to use as less as possible. For certain things, you can take advantage of different stores, different deals around, and just stay within your budget on those items, because yes, you can set a limit for that, for what you're going to do. And a lot of times if you're hand making gifts, it'll come out way cheaper than trying to buy something from the store. So think about what are those non-traditional or alternatives that you can use to avoid spending all of your money during the holiday season. Next thing I want you to do, make sure that you establish a spending limit for each person that you're buying for. If you choose to go the traditional route, it's always best to have a spending limit. So you want to keep that in mind. And then the one thing you want to do is look for promotions, sales, discounts, any type of savings that you can take advantage of. I want you to do that. A lot of times if you are looking at an item in the store right now, you can scan that code or do a search for that item just to see if you can get it any cheaper. So a lot of times you're able to do that by scanning the barcode using your phone, and you can see if there's any stores in your area that sell that same item. You can see what discount codes are available. You can see if they are available online. And a lot of the stores still will price match you as well. So you've got some options there. If you don't want to go to the other store, see if that store will match whatever price you found that item for. So you want to, again, keep that budget in mind. Look for non-traditional gifts. Think about what talents you have that you can explore. And then you want to make sure you set that limit for each and every person so that you're not going over your budget, and look for sales, discounts, coupon codes, whatever you can come up with. There are a few websites out there that offer really great deals as well. During the holiday season, you can get alerts set for an item that you might be interested in, and then take advantage of any types of discounts that you can find. One other thing that you want to think about while doing this, though, while you're shopping for the holidays, try not to use your credit cards. If you have to use your credit cards, totally understand that you just want to do it in a manner where you're not overspending or you're not over your budget. And if you find yourself going over your limit, don't use your credit cards to try and substitute that. With credit cards comes a cost. And of course, there's always an interest rate involved. But if you were to use cash for the items that you need, then guess what? You are actually saving yourself interest. You're staying within your budget. You're not adding on any additional costs. And that's what we do when we use credit cards. That's right. They've got interest there, and you're going to pay that interest, whether you pay it at one time or over time. It really does add up. So I don't want to see you spending your money on just interest charges, things that didn't even have to do with gift giving or anything, item that you even bought. So if you can use cash, use it. You can go in there using your debit card or just keep the money in your bank account, but don't overspend. Again, we want to stay within our budget and keep things, within our reach. We want to stay within our means, living within our means and working on that debt. Again, if you've got some questions about how to use debt or budgeting, or you need some help and tools, ways to even start, contact a counselor at Family Credit Management at 800-994-3328, because there are counselors that are standing by to help you through these times. And budgeting is the basis of everything. So you want to make sure you're able to afford it. You want to stay within your means, and you want to, again, have that separate holiday budget that does not affect what you're doing or your everyday expenses. A lot of times we think about the holidays coming up. We waited to the last minute. We don't have a holiday plan. And what we end up doing is not paying our bills just for simple satisfaction for a few minutes. So I don't want to see that happen to you. That's why it's important that you have a holiday budget. If your holiday budget is only $10 or $20, stick with that. Make that work for you. Again, think about those non-traditional gifts or those ways that you can explore your talents, your creativity to make everything work. Again, using cash instead of using those credit cards, no matter how much they may offer you. A lot of the credit card companies right now, they know that you're out there. They see you in the stores. So they want to offer their cards to you as well. And that's how they get you suckered in too. So keep that in mind. Use your cash wherever you can and stick to your list. Remember, when we sat down and we started budgeting for the holidays, first thing we did, we made that list, right? So we want to make sure we stick with our list. Do not do any impulsive buying. A lot of times during this season, especially, we see those items that are out there. We see those big ticket items that we have been thinking about all year long. They're finally on sale. And so we're like, do I go for it? No. Remember, we're still trying to stay within our means. A lot of times we see those impulsive things that we want to do. We buy and then we have regrets later. Don't want to see that happen to you. So stick within your budget, stick within your means, use that cash, try not to pay interest on that at all. Then another thing you want to think about is, hey, are we going to be traveling at all during the season? Remember, I told you you do need to put that into your budget, and you want to start saving early towards that, because a lot of times we don't think about, hey, guess what? When you travel, you have to buy tickets. If you are going to be on an airplane, you have to think about the airfare and not just buying the ticket, but guess what? You may need to park at the airport. How are you getting to the airport? These are things that we don't even think about. And yes, you can possibly find discounts on parking or a ride to the airport through Uber or another means. However you're going to get there, you still need to factor that into the budget, because that's something that we're not thinking about. A lot of times people they do their traveling plans. They get to the airport. First thing they think of is, I'm hungry. Let's get something while we wait. And you sit down in the airport, and those snacks are so expensive. They could blow your budget at one time. When you think about it, do you really want to pay $8 to get a water? Do you want to pay $10 for a bag of chips and maybe just a donut? No. And then if you have to buy a meal or you're looking at buying a meal, you're in an airport where you're spending all of this money. So that's why you want to plan for traveling ahead too. Make sure not only that your budget is tight, but that you know what you're doing. We're going to get up in the morning. We are going to make sure we eat breakfast, or we're not going to eat, and this is our plan. We get to the airport. That all needs to be planned out too, because yes, it ties into your budget. And a lot of people don't think about how it does. You're sitting at the airport and guess what? You didn't plan on having to eat. Or worst thing that could happen when you're at an airport, you leave your phone charger at home. Now, a phone charger that you could typically get for $5 or so, right now at the airport can run you anywhere from $20 to $60, depending on what type of phone you have. So that's why you want to make sure you've got this all planned out. Not only the money that you need to travel, but are your clothes together? Do you have everything? Do you have your ID together? Do you know what everything will be in the morning when you get ready to travel? And you want to make sure that you even budget for bags. That's right. Airlines are notorious for charging you to bring your own luggage, right? And a lot of times we don't even think about that cost. That could be an extra $50, $100, up to $200. So you may have gotten a great deal on a discounted ticket, but now you get to the airport, you've got extra baggage. You didn't know that their information has changed. They've got new requirements, and now you have to pay an additional $200 just to check your bags. This is why it's really important when I talk about planning for or budgeting for the holidays. It touches on so many different levels. It's not just about the money, but it all rolls in together, and it has an effect on your stress level, on what you're doing. And that's why the holidays can be so stressful for so many people. But when you think about it, you're budgeting ahead of time. Yes, you have the power to get things back on track before even going there. So what are some ways or some things that we talked about? Again, keeping that budget intact. We want a separate holiday budget, not just our monthly budget, but we want to be able to afford things. So thinking ahead for the next year. Guess what? Yes, we do need to think ahead now for next Christmas. And with your new budget that you have, you know now how much you spent on Christmas this year. You know what your expectations are. You've set those levels. So what I want to see you do is look at that amount that you need for next year. What are you planning for Christmas on next year? Take the amount you have for this year and you want to divide that by 11 or maybe even 10. So what I want you to do is think about this. December next year will be what? 12 months away. So we want to use our budget and see if we can get through January to October on whatever that amount is monthly for 10 months, whatever you used, and set that aside or set some type of funds aside in a separate account just for the holidays. And that way, by the time Thanksgiving rolls around, you've already saved up the money that you need for Christmas and it's not affecting your budget at all. And yes, you can do that right now. It starts right now by looking at your budget, looking where you're at, seeing how much money you will need for the holidays, and then let's put it to good use because we didn't do this all for nothing. When you sit down and you've got that plan in place, it reduces your stress. And so now we're taking it a step further and saying, guess what? I don't want that stress next year either. So let me right now see what I need to do to prepare for the holiday season next year. And you'll get into a habit of doing that each and every single year so that you're not stressed. You are able to enjoy the holidays, be it you're going gift crazy, you're making memories, you're doing a little bit of both. But guess what? You can enjoy your family. You can enjoy the holidays without that added stress. So it's important to use whatever cost-saving methods you can and to take a look at your budget and keep it in mind as you prepare for the holidays. We always talk about how when you walk around the stores, there's so many temptations that go into play. The moment you set foot inside that store, be it a grocery store, department store, or whatever, they have methods to get you to open your wallets, to open your pocketbooks. And we don't want to see that happen. You need to stay diligent, stay within your means, stick to that budget the moment you walk in the door. Think about it. Even at the grocery store, they've got some great gifts. They've got a whole gift aisle for things that you've never even thought about that could possibly go into play and blow your budget out the water. If we're sticking to our list, we don't have that stress. Now, it can be a bit difficult while you're walking in because this will take discipline. To stick to your list takes discipline. And you can challenge yourself and say, hey, I have my list. I'm sticking to it. And if you find yourself deviating, what's your punishment for doing that? If you stick within your budget and you do great and you've got money left over, what is your reward? So these are things that you can do internally to just keep that in mind for the holiday season. Another thing that you want to think about as well is that a lot of times the holiday season means what? Our utilities are about to change. That next month may go up whether you use the lights or you didn't. And a lot of times there's no way to even fight it. But you do want to plan for it and make sure that you have some extra cushion in your budget. A lot of times when you take your monthly bills and you are able to separate them or divide them up over whatever time period that you get a paycheck, it works a lot better for you. So if you know that your light bill is typically $100 a month and you are budgeting $50 out of each paycheck because you get paid twice, then you know that that payment is going to go to them like clockwork. You don't have that stress of now I need to take my money from my bills to buy gifts for everyone, to make everything work for the holidays. No, you're keeping that going too. So you got to maintain your budget, your regular household budget, and then you need to get ready for the new year by staying within this Christmas budget now, your monthly budget, and then preparing for next year. Now, a lot of people think about the holidays and they say, oh, it's time for vision boards and resolutions, but I challenge you to take a step further and look at your financial budget, your situation right now, because that is what's important. The next year may be rough, it may be hard, but if you're disciplining yourself right now to take a look at where you are today, how much money you're bringing in, what are your expenses, and then take a sit down with your family and say, what are those expenses that we can cut out as a family? Once the holidays are over, hey, we need to be on the ground and running by January with a smooth budget, no stress, and making use of the money that we have, the resources that we have, and keeping things together. Now, there's help out there if you are looking for help. If you're looking for help with your utilities, if you're looking for help trying to pay your rent and your mortgage, there are ideas, there's help out there. So sit down with your budget, figure out what it is that you need, and you can see when you get your utility bills, a lot of times they will offer assistance. There's assistance out there if you call your utility companies, the light, the gas, water even, whatever you're struggling with, and see what resources are available in your area to help you get over that, to help you maintain your budget. And also if you're looking for rent help, mortgage help, because your housing costs have risen, think about contacting the county that you're in and seeing what assistance they offer as well. There's so many different housing agencies out there that may be able to provide you that assistance. But it all starts with knowing where you are today so that you can prepare for the future. If you've got debt that you need help with, reach out to Family Credit Management at 800-994-3328. Talk to a certified counselor. Let's get things under control. Let's get things ready for a great new year. Once these holidays are over, I want your budget in place. And if you've got any questions at all, you can feel free to reach out. While we're talking about budgeting, look for the My Spending Plan, Family Credit's website, familycredit.org. And I do want to mention that there is a great children's book that's available as well from Family Credit for free, which you can look at giving that as a gift for children as well. Give the joy and gift of reading, learning, and educating as well. Again, My Spending Plan is available, Family Credit's website, familycredit.org, or you can call a counselor when you're talking to them and ask for this information to be sent to you at 800-994-3328. So again, as you prepare for the holidays, I hope this information is helpful. Stick within your budget, stay within your means. If you've got that list for your holidays and your list for everything else that you're doing, stay on top of it and make sure that if you can take advantage of any type of assistance, deals, coupons, whatever, and use your creativity for the holidays. That's the best advice that I can offer. Use your creativity, give yourself. We'll see you again next week. Thank you.